Welcome to my Sunday Spotlight video, my YouTube friends. It's Margaret here from M.E.s Orchids, and what are we looking at today? Laelia anceps. And it can have a colour change, but there is a species found in Mexico and Guatemala, and here's my specimen here. Now, this was purchased beginning of May. I think it was round about the 12th of May, and it came as a loose division. Yes, the 12th of May. Now this came as a loose division, and I promptly put it on this piece of bark that I cut from one of the trees in the garden. It'll come to me which tree it is, and this was €12, which I thought was very good. And let's just have a look. So it was ripped from the mother plant, as you can see there, and I just put some dragon's blood on that, and then I anchored it to this piece of wood, this branch, and I've done nothing really since, only hydrate it, and I don't actually hydrate it by putting the complete piece of wood in the water. What I do is I tilt it on one side and let these roots here take up the water. Now all these roots, all the ends blackened with the transport damage. And these as well, can you see these? And the only one that stayed green was this one here. But anyway, it's doing very well. Let me just, I've just got it on top of this glass, so if you'll just bear with me while I try and just manoeuvre it round. And let's start, because it wants to, you see, that's the way it wants to hang, and that's the way it does hang. Alright, but for video purposes it's easier just to show you here, and there we go. There, can you see that? I think that's the start of a new pseudobulb. I think that's what they call these. There we go, that one. And if we turn it round, so that's that one there. And this one here, let's turn it over here, which is there. Can you see that one? Just underneath there, which is marvellous. There we go. And let's just take you around this way now. So that's 1, 2. If I can just manoeuvre it round. Perhaps it's a bit more awkward to do it this way. Bear with me. And just under that sheath here, can you see? Oh, no, you won't see because I've just got that leaf. But can you see the shape of it there? And there's a little bit of a wispy skin still over the top. That's another one. And so that's from this pseudobulb here, which is already flowered. And since I've put it on this piece of wood, this wood is the elder. I've got a big elder tree in the garden, and it took me a hell of a long time to try and break some of this wood up, but I eventually did. And all I've done with this is secured it top and bottom with a piece of wire. And then once I'd secured that top and bottom with this wire, and you see, it started to send out those roots. And you see all those nice roots there. And then I've noticed the other side of it is that new growth. So I'm assuming that eventually the new growth, which I've just shown you, like that one there, one there, will form into something like this, and I'm absolutely positive this is elongated from there to there. Now at what point that, oh, it's just starting to split open. Look at that, can you see where it's just starting to split open? So it's a bit awkward, this one is, but on saying that, it hangs lovely in the grow room, and it's actually sometimes referred to as the two-edged Laelia, and it grows epiphytic on trees in coffee plantations, pastures, oak and oak pine forests at altitudes of 500 to 2400 metres above sea level. It is a medium-sized, warm to cool-growing species, and when does it flower? I think it flowers autumn to spring. So let's just take this round here now, because what I also wanted to show you, let me just see if I can bring it round without dropping it and breaking these precious roots. Can you just see in there, between those two roots there, can you see? I've got a new root formed and attached. Now I'm not sure whether that came with that root, but it's certainly attached since I've anchored it down onto this branch here. There we go, you see? And these roots are still viable because you can see where they've turned green, and like I say, those are the roots now. Those are the new roots, and that one is almost ready to touch that bark, and in which case that will take off and attach to that piece of bark. And if I put it back here now, gently, so I don't knock it over, because it is quite a big one. The only thing that I was a little bit unsure of is that it's supposed to have a definite rest period, and I don't really understand what this means, because and I got this from Travaldo's blog, and it says to stimulate flowering, Laelia anceps needs a clearly defined period of rest. It begins when a new orchid sprout sufficiently develops and at least half unfolds its only leaf. It is not necessary to focus on the appearance of a cover in this case, as a rule it is born very small and for a long time is not visible. Now, do they mean that? That one there, like I'm showing you now, there. And it says it is not visible. From this point on, the total temperature of the content should be reduced first to 18°C and 15°C at night, and as the leaf expands to 15°C by day and 10°C at night. Together with the lowering of the temperature, watering and top dressing of the plant, it is also reduced until they completely stop. With the advent of the peduncle, the rest period ends, and the overall temperature rises, and the watering of this orchid resumes in the usual volume. Now, that's as clear as mud to me. Now, whether or not it's clear to somebody else, but anybody who's got a Laelia anceps out there, does yours bloom? And if so, do you do any special rest period? I mean, I'm in a temperate climate, so a rest period to me would be through our winter months. But I've actually been watering this and feeding it because, of course, it's come from the from the mother plant there, and it had to have something to sustain it through this period of producing its new roots, like I've shown you here. And so I've had to use these old roots, even though they've all got the tips blackened, so that this orchid has been supported. There we go. Anyway, so that's my Sunday spotlight video this week, Laelia anceps, and I think you'll agree at €12. Let me just hold it up now, and then it wants to hang somewhere. Perhaps if I can hang it up here. Do you think it'll let me hang it in the window? There we go. Even though that leaf is behind, the light's not very good. Let's see if I can do it this way. That's probably even worse. But anyway, thank you for joining me on another Sunday Spotlight, and I hope you've been enjoying this lovely warm weather. It's been absolutely beautiful, and we've got this warm weather until at least Wednesday, and it's been our sunniest May, so we've all been out in the garden. Anyway, from me to you, take care now. Bye bye.